You guys have spoken, and I have listened. It's time for a deeper dive into what a turn is. We'll be going over some examples of different turn states to paint a better picture, as well as going over some of the rule breakers I talked about in a previous episode. Let's get into it. First up, draw phase. This one is pretty simple. Both players draw a card and add it to their hand. At this point, no card can attack or defend by any means. Card effects can still take place though. And to get a bit technical, cards with a higher cost and that have a utility focused effect are favored first. So let's say we have an imp on the enemy side of the field and we have a deck ghost right here. Our deck ghost can easily be killed by the imp because of the imp's effect. However, because the deck ghost has a higher cost and has a utility focused effect, we can still draw our card. Though as soon as we draw that card, the imp effect will resolve, killing our deck ghost. Second up, pre-combat. This is a time where very few units can attack, and any unit that participated in last turn's combat or last turn's post-combat cannot block a unit attacking during pre-combat. Other than that, it's exactly the same as regular combat. Third up, potential combat. This is a time where you can use spells to affect units, and you can also put in or take out units to attack and defend. Monster effects will not work during this time, but will work once locked combat starts. So let's say we have the Wind Ninja fighting a card with Mark. Their effect states that the card with Mark that she's battling will take 2 damage. This effect will not work until both of these cards have entered locked combat against each other. Fourth up, locked combat. This is standard combat where you cannot use spells to influence combat unless specified, but monster effects can now be used. Spell cards that deal with removal from combat can fully be used here. So let's say we use backflip on a unit. Even if it's in locked combat, post-combat, or pre-combat, we can use backflip because it removes a unit from combat. Fifth up, post-combat. This is another strange state in the game. During post-combat, combat bonuses do not apply. Only certain cards can initiate post-combat attacks, but any card can block an attacking post-combat card. So let's say we have these two bad boys facing off against each other in post-combat. Neither of these cards will get their buffs or effects because both of those directly affect combat. Some notable exceptions of the rule are with the Cursed Kingdom units. Cursed Kingdom units have Omen's Pact, which is a buff that gives an effect. Omen's Pact is not inherently combat focused, but the effect it provides could be. With this in mind, Omen's Pact is not affected by post-combat rules because, again, Omen's Pact is not inherently combat focused. Alongside this, there are a couple cards that just don't care about the rules. The Omen of Ruin can only die in combat, but it needs to fill a condition to do that. Moreover, if it dies in combat, then it can kill units to revive itself, but it's not guaranteed it will die in combat. As such, post-combat rules will not apply to it. And sixth up, end phase. This is a time where all other effects are resolved and no card can fight until next turn. A couple examples are the Lightning Ninja and the Cursed one. The Lightning Ninja deals 2 damage to all units with Mark after combat, and this is the state that it is referring to. And if we take a look at the Cursed one, we can see that all of its damage is dealt to the first target it interacted with after combat, aka the end phase. And now that we've covered all the phases, let's dive into a couple rule breakers I mentioned in a prior episode. First up, Hands of the Grave. As you can read from its effect, the killer is forced to participate in combat. So if Hands of the Grave defends a pre-combat, post-combat, or regular combat, the killer is forced to be in locked combat. So because the killer is sent straight to locked combat upon killing Hands of the Grave, the killer is not counted on a unit on the opponent's side of the field, and is also not considered to be in their control because the opponent technically has no control over that unit. This means that spells like Will of the Ancient, Unholy Blessing, and tons of other card effects will not work because the opponent does not directly control them. Next up, some ninja effects. The Crazed Ninja is a bit of a weird one. It cannot enter combat by any means. This includes all combat. With that being said, if you are being attacked by a card that has Mark, regardless of if it's pre, post, or regular combat, Crazed Ninja can block because of its effect. And covering the Double Ninja, it states that while in combat, the attacking card hits itself. This is technically counted as a combat buff because it indirectly reduces the damage taken. So if you remember from before, post-combat nullifies all combat bonuses, meaning that if you use the Double Ninja to block a card in pre or regular combat, it will have its effect, but if you use it during post-combat, it will not have its effect. And finally, the Brain Rot cards. Now we're running out of time, so I will only cover one, the Energetic Ball. Because post-combat nullifies all combat bonuses and the Brain Rot effect grants a combat bonus in the form of caffeine as well as a debuff, the effect will only grant the debuff portion of the effect. Anyway, that's going to be all for this episode, everyone. Let me know if you enjoyed the more technical side of things, and yeah, see you later.